Our top focus today is from the Indian city of Bengaluru, where the water crisis in Bengaluru continues to worsen. Now, in order to cope with the current situation, civil authorities in the southern Indian city have prohibited the use of drinking water in swimming pools, due to which several pools across the city face the threat of closure. According to the latest guidelines provided by Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board, pools cannot be filled using treated water to avoid any hygiene-related concerns. If found breaching the order, the Water Supply and Sewerage Board will impose a fine of 5,000 rupees or $60.3. However, water sports associations across the city are concerned. They fear that the move will affect sports and fitness enthusiasts. The president of Karnataka Swimming Association says there is a big misconception that swimming pool water is changed every day. As he states, only a part of it is refilled. The move also comes ahead of the summer season, when several businesses plan summer camps and coaching classes. Now, for the last few days, with declining groundwater levels and diminishing reservoirs, the country's Silicon Valley is facing an unprecedented water crisis. The city's residents are short of nearly 1,680 million litres of water every day, meaning they just get about half the water they need daily. Bengaluru's water crisis is primarily fueled by three factors: depleting groundwater, inadequate infrastructural planning, and the impact of water tanker associations and operations. Well, the water supply is also hit by poor rains. The state government has taken some measures to address the issue. Officials have been instructed to utilize unused milk tankers for water supply. The state chief minister has also earmarked $67 million to tackle the issue. India's weather department is predicting light rainfall in 11 states. The forecast says some states and union territories might also experience light snowfall in the next 2 to 3 days. A western disturbance is expected to impact climate in the northwest India. It could also affect the hilly areas in the foothills of northern parts of the country. The union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and the state of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand are expected to receive light rain and snowfall on March 13th and March 14th. Light rain is also expected in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan states on March 13th. In fact, light rainfall is also predicted for the states of Sikkim, Assam and Meghalaya in the next 6 days. Meanwhile, the state of West Bengal will witness light rain from March 13th to 17th. The weather in India has become extremely erratic in recent years. Jammu and Kashmir's Gulmarg received fresh snowfall this week, bringing down the mercury at several places. Temperature almost reached below 0 degrees in places like Gulmarg and Pahalgam. The recent snowfall in March is seen as an unlikely weather condition at this time of the year. Meanwhile, the usual snow cover was missing this year in Kashmir during the winters. Now, as per the Weather Department data, Kashmir has reported a 79% rainfall deficit last year as well. The Weather Department links this anomaly to the warming of sea surface temperatures in the central and the eastern Pacific Ocean. Now, heavy rains in Argentina have caused flash floods and disrupted air traffic. The rains have caused cancellation of dozens of flights and power outages in thousands of homes. At least one person has died. An orange alert has been issued in the Argentine capital region. Drone views showed the magnitude of the downpour as streets in Buenos Aires province looked like rivers.
Y tienen que esperar hasta que baje.
We live on the ground floor and the water entered the entire room. Everything was flooded and we went outside and saw all of this.
Now, dozens of residents in the capital and surrounding areas were seen working to keep their homes dry and unblock the sewer grates that had collapsed with leaves and debris. Meanwhile, several cars were half covered by the water currents that were generated in some streets. The rain also left about 100,000 people without electricity supply. The barrage of lightning triggered security protocols in two main airports in the capital city, causing flight cancellations and delays. An alert warned of dangerous meteorological phenomena for society, life, goods and environment. Rains have been forecasted for at least 48 more hours.
La provincia de La Pampa, ambas zonas de tormenta se han...
Around Moron and the west of Buenos Aires suburbs, we have between 100 and 140 millimeters. In the south and places such as Lanús, unofficial stations that are used for meteorological tracking, there were between 80 and 90 millimeters reported. We are talking about a less than 3-hour period.
Pero que se utilizan para el seguimiento meteorológico, valores...
Since November, floods and landslides caused by incessant heavy rains in Bolivia have claimed 51 lives and affected over 43,000 families. Authorities are on high alert to avert further disaster. According to the country's civil defense authorities, 133 cities and over 500 residential communities have been hit by the disaster. Continuous downpours have inundated streets and houses in southern parts of the capital, La Paz, and put a nearby reservoir under threat. Frustration and anxiety have gripped local residents who are battling deteriorating road conditions and swollen rivers.
We are so worried about our life. We can't even fall asleep because the river is overrunning its banks and pounding the road, the better part of which has caved in.
Heavy rains in recent days have led to a state of emergency being declared across the country, with officials urging efforts to protect those facing the highest risk. Rescue teams are working to reinforce river dams.
We're managing to avoid the dam failure and stop the situation from getting worse. Meanwhile, we're reinforcing the riverbed. One of the problems we're facing is the increased river flow after the rains.
The rainy season in Bolivia usually begins in November and lasts until March, with the greatest intensity typically during January and February. Scientists at a Singaporean university believe that mass-producing superworm guts could be a natural solution to Southeast Asia's plastic waste problem. They're studying the creatures to figure out exactly how they digest plastic. Take a look at this.
Our study is one of the few studies in this region to look at the microorganisms and plastic interaction in the marine environment.
That's all the updates we have for you today on WION's Climate Tracker, but we have more news and updates from around the globe on the bulletin, so stick with us. World.